So this is session 3 of Monsterhearts with our slightly Gauntlet comic version of the setting. Gauntlet Comics being a sort of collaborative shared world that Rich Rogers and Jim Crocker and some others have been running and playing with. But we have our teen paranormal romance here in this session. This is part of the Gauntlet Hangouts, which is an online gaming community. You can find out more about that at gauntlet-rpg.com. But here we are with this. I'm following the advice that Jason gave me early on when running Monsterhearts, and he said, hard frame like a motherfucker, and get to the dance, were the two pieces of advice that he gave to me when running Monsterhearts. So that is what we have done. Our group of teens have arrived at the dance. This is the Sadie Hawkins dance, which, for those of you who are not familiar, is the high school tradition of the dance that girls ask the boys, and is also a slightly modified tradition of a lock-in where they do overnight sleepover things. This is usually a religious school dance thing, but I have modified it to here. They have a motivational speaker, the Red Exorcist, who is here, and after the dance is over, is going to give kids some life lessons on dealing with supernatural events, like our teens, as it turns out. But we have all of our group assembled here. But I have to begin with a few questions. Daryl, what is the theme for the dance?
The theme is Gold Rush.
Gold Rush. Like classic 49ers kind of thing?
Yep.
And who do you think came up with that as a theme?
It was actually, I think it was Chad. And I think it was because, like, his family once struck it rich, and they're like, he's clinging to this, like, dream.
And maybe he thought it would gain him points with the history instructor, that kind of thing. So, wow. And I assume this was the least bad idea amongst the many themes that were there. Okay. Sarah, so how have they decorated to, how would a high school full of kids who have no idea what a gold rush really is, how would they have decorated for the gold rush theme?
Oh, there are these like paper pans that are like maybe gold pans, like just stapled to the wall. They've done like blue and gold, like bunting. And then like someone, like the table, the centerpieces of the table are like bits of pyrite.
Yeah, lots of pyrite here all over the place. What, I assume that some of the chaperones and teachers have costumed a little bit. So what kind of costuming do you imagine that they've put on to match this, Sarah?
At least one teacher probably has a really good one, and it looks like weirdly period appropriate.
Like maybe they cosplay as like a riverboat gambler kind of thing?
Or something. But most people are just like wearing hats and maybe suspenders.
Overalls, that kind of thing, on a few of them. All right. That's the general theme that's been set out. They've done this. It doesn't make any sense in the context of the school in the 21st century. Stephen, what is the most like anachronistic thing that they've actually still got here in the dance hall? What's the thing that they've had to have or put in here for the dance or for the event afterwards that just completely doesn't fit with this gold rush theme?
I mean, I think the Red Exorcist has some props for their motivation, motivational talks, like some sort of super science gadget that they use to detect supernatural things.
Got that. Probably got a little portable stage. They've got a box of props and things like that set off, and it's kind of in the middle of things. People are trying to work their way around it. Q, is there a DJ? Is it Spotify? Is it a band? What is the music on hand here?
I think there's a VJ. There's like a wannabe YouTube star who has mixed together all these different video mixes and is projecting them up onto the wall.
What's their name? DJ.
Ooh. Let's see. DJ Slice.
DJ Slice.
Yeah, but it's spelled with a 5 instead of an S.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it looks like Five Lice. So DJ Slice is there and is very much the PG-13 video DJ that the school has hired for the event. And I think when we left off, I think the last thing that we left off with last time may have been Katerina catching that scent there in the place. We know that the Red Exorcist is here. We know that Jean is still scared of Jesse. We know that there's been some rumors spread about Nyasha. We know there's another werewolf here. Your father called you Katerina, but you told him not to come and help out. Drake, there's been that mysterious janitor that's been following you around. The principal is certainly suspicious of you. And Winter, you left two of your crew at home and came here with Iva, who stood up her date, who is a class member of yours. So those are amongst the various things that are currently going on. So when the camera comes in then, after we've had our, CW approved 1 week break between episodes, on you, Katerina, what are you doing?
Everything feels kind of dull and weird because of this necklace I've got on. It's like keeping the werewolf part of me like down.
Mm-hmm.
It's harder to pick out smells and faces and like find people because I'm looking for Naisha.
Okay. So I think that it won't take long for you to make your way over, and you can see that Naisha is there. It doesn't look like she's asked anybody to come with her to the dance, but she has come, and she is staying there kind of awkwardly surveying the room. And you will notice that not unlike yourself, she has a choker with that silver on it.
Hey.
And she looks at you and you see her eyes kind of go wide, and she's like, oh, Katerina.
Winter said you were in the garden a couple days ago. Is that true?
Yes, I was hunting there.
They told me there weren't any others.
Who told you that?
People? Where'd you get that necklace? Who gave it to you?
My mentor gave it to me. Where did you get yours?
Family.
I didn't realize there was another cell of us here in Gauntlet City.
Cell. The cell, that's not the word. What does she smell like?
Why don't you use your heightened senses?
Oh, roll for your party. Do you have the link for that handy?
Absolutely. It is a koala-based roll for your party, which I will drop into the chat.
Thank you. That's a 2 plus or minus something.
Well, your dark is 1. You can't smell anything. Like there's just too much around here. And I mean, it's all confusing. You really want to take this off. Like, I think you're going to get a condition. What's the best way to describe that this is bothering you?
I want to say like weighted down or like hooked or itchy or something.
Yeah. I like the weighted down, the sense that it is, and you can tell that Naisha is not sure what to make of you. Like you're looking at her kind of odd. She's what's the matter? She's still a teenager, so she you know.
Your mentor, what does that mean? You said cell, there's more than just you.
Yeah, not many, but some.
Why are you here tonight? I mean,
I'm hunting. It's a full moon.
obviously.
I'm going to cut away from that conversation. Winter Lattimore. What does your entrance look like? Because I assume that you have to do something. Is it more subtle, or do you make a big scene when you come on into the dance itself?
I think that, of course, Winter had planned this like extravagant entrance where he was going to be like wearing this white tuxedo with like a red like lined cape or something like that. It's going to be very high fashion, blah blah blah. And then he was supposed to come in with Billy, who he was going to like make up like amazingness, and they would be perfectly matched. But then because now he's here with Eva, like it kind of falls flat because like she's wearing some like ultra casual like hipster kind of slip, and like it's so incongruous, and like he's furious.
Yeah. What do you want to do to soothe your anger, to soothe your temperament right now?
I definitely need to be flattered by someone and to like exert my control.
So what do you want to do?
I think I need to find Jessie if she's here.
Okay. Jessie is, of course, our ghost friend. So Jessie has come in with Drake, of all people. Does that surprise you, or was that expected? I mean, you saw Drake ask her in the middle of the classroom, but then that seemed to like go nowhere.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised just because like I've also gotten like bad vibes off of Drake. So I've been like suspicious of them, and it's kind of surprising that Jessie would be here with him because like she has her own secrets to hide, and someone that like much of a loose cannon would be pretty dangerous, I would think.
And yet there she is. And Jessie, again, remind me how you're dressed.
I'm dressed in this really fancy dress that my mother got me. It's black with like these blue sparkles that are way more conspicuous than I thought they were in the store. So I'm looking much more glamorous than I'm comfortable looking.
And I believe your plan was to escape to your locker at some point and change into gym clothes.
Yeah, I discussed that with Drake.
You will see Winter and Iva approach. Iva is a statuesque 6 foot, plus she's wearing heels to accentuate that. And she is dressed sharply. She has a lovely choker with a piece of jade on it that she's wearing. And she's kind of seems to be following Winter's lead here. Winter, what's your opening gambit with Jessie?
I say, Jessie, I am so surprised. It's another transformation.
And Jessie just sort of raises one eyebrow and it's like, yeah, I'm incognito.
Winter like gives this like faux laugh that's just, you know, like, oh my god, you're so funny, and then kind of like slides over to you and it's like, how are you doing tonight? I'm rather surprised to see you here and looking this glamorous.
Yeah, well, you're not the only one who can clean up nice. It's just some of us
Have further to go, says Iva.
And I was like, now, children, let's play nicely. We're all here to have a good time.
Huh, I thought we were here because the teachers made us come.
Also that, but it's for a good cause. Aren't you excited to see The Red Exorcist this evening?
I can't say that. I've never been very fond of Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I think that Winter kind of like smiles conspiratorially and it's like, well, if you would like, I'm sure that Eva and I are going to probably get up to some fun while that speech is happening. You're more than welcome to join us.
If fun means we're sneaking out of the auditorium, I'm all for it.
Let me ask Drake, who's been standing there, what your take on this exchange is.
I think Drake, you know, didn't catch the first part. He'd gone to, you know, the refreshments table and picked up like a drink and came back. And he kind of handed it to Jessie and then kind of looked at the other two at Winter and Iva, and you know, you could see it was kind of, do I go get them something? And they no. So I think as they start to talk about escape and, you know, all that kind of stuff, Drake is kind of leans in and he says, I'm in. Let's do this thing.
And Winter like looks at you. It's like very much like a, oh no, you were not invited, but how do I say no now? And it's like, that would be so great. By the way, you look really nice too. And he like kind of like comes over and like pats you on the shoulder in like a very like, I'm touching you, but I don't know if it's okay to be touching you kind of way.
I think you feel something underneath.
Oh. I think that like probably like my hand rests for a second too long as I'm trying to interpret what is in your breast pocket, and it maybe comes across as a come on.
Are you actually trying to read and gazing into the abyss here?
I think that I was originally going to gaze into the abyss, but if if you're fine with it, I think it would be really interesting to also see if like it was an accidental turn someone on.
Oh yeah, that sounds great.
Okay, let's have you roll. Turn someone on with hot.
Okay, so my hot's a +2, and I needed it because it's a 6, so that makes it an 8. And I never managed to have the reference sheet up, so just a second.
Sure. It'll essentially they can either give you a string, or choose to give themselves to you, promise something that they think you want, or get embarrassed and act awkward. So that the choice is in your hands, Q.
Yeah. I think so. Let's see if this doesn't work out for both of us. So basically, I think I'm going to give you something I think you want, which is attention. And so Drake kind of turns to you and says, it's nice to be around someone who is a mastermind at how to organize things and organize people. I've seen some of your plans in the past, and I'm interested to see what you have planned for tonight.
Winter just like is incredibly flattered. Like it's like people don't generally acknowledge the fact that he's constantly plotting, and like really appreciates it when someone admires his handiwork. So yeah, he gets a little bit crimson across the face, and then like slides back and like it's like oh that's very kind. I'm sure that I will not disappoint. And then like kind of like looks a little bit more starstruck at Drake than he was looking before.
I was definitely trying to read the situation about who she needs to be catty at and who not, and so she's just in a holding pattern of bitchiness right now. Jesse, what? Now, you've had this conversation, talked a little bit with Winter. Do you want to press on with that conversation? Do you want to do something else while you're here? What do you want?
I think I take a little sip of the punch, and I realize that nobody has spiked it yet.
That is correct.
So I'm going to slip out a little flask I've got and add a bit of liquor to my drink.
What is your drink of choice? What did you bring with you?
I brought some whiskey.
Okay.
Which, as Laura, I was accustomed to stealing my dad's whiskey, and it's basically it's what I know.
Okay. So we have some very cheap Johnny Walker
Right.
in a little flask there,
Right.
which may not exactly go with the 49er punch that they've got there.
Yeah, I mean it's absolutely awful, but
Yes.
but I sort of assume that alcohol is supposed to take awful, so I don't mind.
Yeah, you will start to get yourself a little. I mean, well, this is a good question. Do you get drunk? Is that a thing that can happen to you? Are you immune to it now, or is it more a mental matter of habit, or do you literally get drunk?
I mean, I think it's like a mental matter of habit. I mean, I think it's sort of there's a limit, because as I get as I start to get drunk, I sort of lose the control that allows me to get drunk. So it's like if I get too drunk, I stop being able to get more drunk.
That seems reasonable. So you're drinking a little. Drake, you've flattered Winter a little bit. How do you comport yourself on a date?
So I think that while the flattery was going on, that's whenever Jessie took advantage of the time to spike her drink a little bit, because I think Drake steps back for a second and he catches that scent of alcohol, and he starts looking around for who might be doing this. And so he's completely distracted as he's like, ooh, something that's not right. Something illegal's going on. And so he's just scanning the room.
Does that seem like gazing to the abyss?
Oh yeah, let's do that.
All right.
That is dark.
Yes, it is.
That is a 7.
That is a 7. So I think that while you will definitely get a little bit of that whiff off of Jesse of alcohol,
Mhm.
the problem is so many of these kids here have also spiked their drink or have had alcohol before they got here. And so it's this just melange of different schnapps and little kings and vodka, and someone found their dad's amaretto and they've been amaretto sour and all of that kind of thing. That like there are a lot of kids here who have been drinking.
I think I visibly stiffen, and I start,
Too many scofflaws here.
yeah. I think I'm gonna head towards back towards the refreshment table.
Okay.
And
Big punch bowl, got the plastic glasses, the cheap ones that can hold maybe 4 ounces of a beverage.
oh yeah.
And there's probably a teacher there, the person in overalls.
Yeah. So I think what I'm going to do is I head back towards the refreshment table. I want to see if I can procure one of the alcoholic drinks from one of the students.
Interesting. I don't think we need to necessarily roll for that. I think that's a thing. What would be let's say that you can get probably someone's like airline bottles of gin that are tucked in a jacket pocket, like a couple bottles of that. Does that seem fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think I want to make it obvious that the punch. Oh yeah. I open up one of these little bottles, empty it onto the floor as I walk towards the punch bowl, and leave the empty bottle next to the punch.
All right. Let's have you keep your cool.
Yeah. And that is cold. And I got a 7.
You got a 7. So I think that you can do that. Like you can drop that in there.
Yeah.
At a point at which almost everyone is looking the other way. And of course, the person who will see you drop that in there is that janitor. Are you good with that?
Yes. And I think after I get through, so I notice that the janitor sees me.
Yes.
I head directly towards him.
Okay.
And I want to tell him there's something wrong with the punch.
We'll come back to that in a second.
Perfect.
Katerina, this conversation's gotten awkward.
It's about to get even more awkward.
Okay.
I think I just stared at her for a second and then just what is wrong with you?
What's wrong with you? Steps back, kind of hold yourself a little defensively.
Why would you come here? Seriously. Hunting?
Yes.
You're just as bad as they are.
And she goes, I am careful. Not going to do anything in the midst of this big crowd. I know to isolate. Get them in another part of the building before you do anything. I know how that works.
The way you talk about it, like it's what? Like it's a sport.
No, it's definitely not sport. It's a duty.
Survival.
No, I mean, well, I mean, it is survival, but you know,
And I'm just like giving her this like disgusted look, like shaking my head and like backing away from her.
she goes, "What's your problem?"
And I'm going to turn and just like try to disappear into the crowd.
Oh, I think you can. There's a lot of kids around here, and yeah, I mean, she's not making to follow you. Yeah, what would you do once you've broken away from her? How are you being?
So I don't have anywhere in particular in mind, but Jesse and Winter are near each other, right? Can I run into you, Drake?
Yeah, I think you will see Drake approach the janitor, and he says something to the janitor, and the janitor just kind of fixes him with this look, and then moves past Drake over to the refreshment table.
Okay. And I think I literally like run into you because I'm not really looking where I'm going.
And I'm looking behind at the janitor to see where he's headed. And I think we bump against each other. I'm like, watch out where you're going.
Watch where you're going.
Well, I wasn't going anywhere. There's alcohol here.
And that's what you can't.
I'm sorry you cut out for a second.
That's what you care about?
Oh. No, but it could lead to problems. You know, someone could get unruly.
Someone could get hurt, but it's okay.
No, it's not okay. It has to be stopped. Don't you agree?
That's not what you said before.
Oh, I said before that people who break the rules should be punished or prohibited from that. So
You said if I hurt someone, if someone hurt someone, and it was like self-defense or they didn't mean to, it was totally fine.
yeah. And in this case, I want to make sure no one hurts anyone. Don't you agree?
And I think I looked like back over my shoulder at what's her face?
Jesse or
Naisha.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. And I'd say, you want to worry about people getting hurt or hurting people. She's the one you want to pay attention to.
Why would you say that? I've seen what
She
you can do.
basically said.
And Drake. Ooh. I think Drake pulls Katarina aside, like towards a wall, and so that he has a good view of Naisha, and says, "Tell me everything you know." She threatened violence.
She talked about it like it was like she strategized about it, like getting people alone.
Are you, by the way, I want to check a mechanic here. You have a string on Drake.
Oh,
Are you using that to push him to do what you want? You don't necessarily have to. I just wanted to point out that option.
What I really want. Oh, okay. I will spend a string to, if you will, like I want to try to convince you that there's some disconnect in the way you're seeing things.
Okay.
I think.
And that disconnect is that it's that violence is not okay in certain circumstances.
That as far as like Katarina's view is like violence is never okay because it's never like even in self-defense, it's always just furthering
Self-control
that
is
cycle.
more important. Something along those lines.
Like you're trying to breed some uncertainty in his mind, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think you're giving him a condition,
Oh.
Oh, okay. Oh,
right? I think
that makes sense.
you're
Okay.
making him uncertain.
Perfect.
Your first condition.
And when Katarina pushes on you like that, Drake, what do we see? I mean, when you do start to hesitate.
I think you see, you know, he looks at the janitor to see, you know, he knows the janitor saw what he did.
Yeah,
And
and the
he feels
janitor
bad.
has accidentally dropped his washcloth into the punch bowl, and is taking the punch bowl out to dump it and instructing the teacher to make up a fresh bowl of punch.
And then I think Drake quickly turns and looks at Winter because he knows he's wronged Winter's friends. You know, Chad, he messed up. And
Not here.
yeah. And you see this guilty look on his face of, you know, maybe if Katerina knew more about me, she wouldn't be talking to me. She wouldn't associate with me.
Katerina, did what's your feeling? I mean, is it anger, or were you trying to deliberately manipulate? How what is your emotion in this interchange?
Not anger, almost like conviction or something, because like the vampires don't care that she's hurt people, like not on an ethical or personal level.
Mm-hmm.
They'll say like platitudes just to kind of make her shut up, but it doesn't matter to them the way that it matters to her.
Nice.
And so she's trying to like get someone to see things the way she does. And I think because like you have that same like anger in you that she does in her, there's like this kinship, and like if she can turn you, then she can like somehow also make herself better.
That is nice. I like that very much. We'll come back to that conversation between the two of you. Winter, you've gotten a little bit of the attention that you wanted, but you've seen Drake is headed off and spoken with the janitor, and then is having this. You know, you see Katarina for the first time, and Katarina again. How are you dressed?
Like basically like a vampire, like slick, not quite club dress, but almost. It's like shiny.
Is it a striking difference from the way you normally dress, or is this sort of your usual mode?
It's nicer. She's usually more grungy.
Yeah. So I think that will be the thing that Iva says to Winter. Well, Iva says, well, she cleaned up nice too. She didn't have that far to go, though.
True. There's a lot of raw potential there, don't you think?
Raw is a good word for it.
So I was thinking about what I wanted to do, but I need to tone check with the actual like player group real quick.
Sure.
So being that Winter's mom is like a cult leader, I was going to kind of lean into some of that. And what I wanted him to do is he was going to try to like dose the new batch of punch with like GHB so that everyone has like a really good time as he announces his like campaign for student council president. I do understand that roofing an entire class is kind of a like edgy thing to do. So if anyone's not comfortable with that, I can find some other way around it. But my clique does have access to designer drugs, and I would like to use that.
Feelings?
I am okay with our characters behaving monstrously.
Okay. Sarah, are you cool with that move?
I'd prefer if it were consensual.
Okay.
Yeah, I can reframe. So yeah, I think what it'll be is I'm just gonna like pass around news that I've got some things that people can enjoy. So I won't roofie the punch bowl then. So
But you can certainly you have access to this. You've brought some with you, so you're going to try and draw some people to you. What is the name of this designer drug that you've gotten a hold of?
it's called. I'm just gonna go with it. It's called Bliss.
Bliss. And is it just a general euphoric?
Yeah, it's one of those things where like it's gonna result in kind of like euphoric feels, like lowering inhibitions, that kind of thing. Like teenagers who are already prone to making bad mistakes will now make worse mistakes more readily.
And Iva is also working, drawing people groups over to speak with you while you hold court in a certain section of the room. Let's have you keep your cool, because you don't particularly want to be caught doing this, right?
Correct. Yeah, it'd be very bad if I got caught with my hands dirty. So that is a 9. Yeah. So the thing I'm afraid of is like that that someone will like tell the principal.
Yeah. And I think that you will certainly catch the eye of Ramiro Lovato, who's come in, and he will see you dealing and kind of realize what's going on. So that'll be the consequence if you want to go through with doing that. Is that a cool cost for you?
Yeah, I think so. Especially if I choose to ditch the paraphernalia on someone else.
Yeah. He looks at you. He notices that Iva's with you and sees what you're doing, and his eyes kind of narrow, and he goes over to his clique to talk to them. So yeah, you've got people that are happy to have this. Some people are storing it away for later because they know that the evening's long, but some people are already taking it, and the probably the crowd is getting a little more raucous than it had been before. Does that seem like a fair assessment?
Yeah, it's definitely more like the wild parties my mother used to throw at the commune.
Absolutely. And in fact, you actually see amongst the chaperones someone that looks familiar to you. Like you can't quite place the face, but you'd swear you saw them at one of your mom's parties.
Can I gaze into the abyss?
Yes, you may.
With my -1 dark.
Please.
Yeah, so that pushed my gaze into the abyss down to a 6, actually.
So when you look at them, you will see them look at you, and like your eyes meet to theirs, and you're kind of trying to read that, and that's probably the moment when Agent Jing steps into your line of vision. And Mr. Lattimore.
Agent Jing, I didn't know you were volunteering for school dances. Is this a normal part of your beat?
They put out a call for help, so I volunteered to come over and spend a few hours doing a shift, since I have a couple of cases here, yourself especially.
Well, you certainly don't have to worry about me. And I like yank Iva over, and I'm just like awkwardly wrap her arm in mine, and just like, we're just here having a good time.
Great, great. Just I'll just be mingling, but I wanted to say hi so you knew I was here.
I appreciate that, Agent Jing.
I'm sure you do. I'm gonna mingle, and she will walk away. And Iva can tell that, like, your mood. She's probably never seen you with Jing before, so she does mark that moment of you kind of maybe expressing a little bit of weakness there. Jesse, your date has gone over to harass a Jander, and then is over now talking with Katerina.
Yeah, and I think I've taken a dose of bliss, so I'm feeling a little overconfident at the moment,
Absolutely.
and I'm a little apprehensive about the Red Exorcist. So I am going to try to size them up and figure out if it comes down to a showdown, how are they vulnerable?
Interesting. And does that seem like gaze
Yeah.
into the abyss
Yes,
here?
yes. Yeah. So that's a 9.
That is a 9. I think that the Red Exorcist is very good at dealing with supernatural threats, less good at physical threats.
Oh, it's lucky that I have a date who's very good at physical threats.
Yeah, yeah. So you'll definitely get that. I mean, you get that sense there, but there is that echo of power. Like she clearly taps into the spirit realm, reaches into it in a way that you almost think you don't want to get necessarily in her line of sight. Though she doesn't know what you really look like, so she would just think you're another student.
Yeah, but I think I am going to seek out Drake again, and I think I'm actually going to try walk up to Drake, and I'm going to try to turn him on. I'm going to start flirting with him.
Okay, he's standing there talking with Katerina. When you come up, Jesse, what is your flirtation look like?
I mean, it's like I reach up and like I take him by the arm and say, "There you are, Drake. I've missed you. I've missed you," and like I just step in a little closer, and it's like I'm trying to cut Katerina out.
Okay.
Like, it's like, oh, she's been flirting with him, but no, you're my man.
Let's have you roll with hot.
You also have strings against me.
Yes.
That's true, and yeah, and I got a 9, and I'll spend one of my strings to boost that up to a 10.
Okay. So that will give you a string on them, and then they have to choose one of those results. How would you react, Drake?
So you're literally trying to pursue romantic relationship with me, which is very different from whenever you came in. And I think it startles me, and I don't know how to react. I think I look at Katerina and I look at you, and then I think I just run off. I run off into the throng of people. I have no idea, I'm unsure of myself. I don't know. Yeah. Does that sound okay?
I think it does. Is it okay for you, Jesse? You've
Yeah,
collected impact.
yeah. I mean, it wasn't the reaction I was hoping for, but I mean, it's a start.
Katerina, what's your reaction when Jesse's advances send Drake flying off into the crowd?
I'm not sure. Like I could see, but I don't know if I convinced him. But he probably just needs some time to think it over. And I think just like staring after him, like kind of frustrated.
Are you ignoring Jesse? What do you want to do?
No, not ignoring her. But I think, yeah, just looking after her and then it's like turning to her because she's standing right next to me. How much do you think it matters? Where you come from? Like, literally.
And I give her this kind of weird look. I think I look terrified, actually, because I mean, I think she's probably talking about me, which triggers my unresolved trauma move.
I think so.
Yeah, so I get the condition traumatized. Okay, it's like I don't know how you found out, but I'm scared. I am scared of you now, and I just say, I don't know what you're talking about, and I run.
And she made Drake run, and then you make Jesse run. Everyone is just running away from you, or you're running away from them.
Obviously, I need to go see Winter.
Okay. So we'll come back to you in a second as you go to talk to Winter. Drake, you're mingling.
I think I search out some solitude. So, I'm going to some place, if I can get higher up or someplace where no one would notice. I feel much better if I'm watching people from a like a perch than something like that. Yeah.
So yeah, there's probably I think you could probably get up above the sort of makeshift stage that they've got set up there. Maybe climb up into the rafters up there.
Is this like in a gym?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah. Only if it's basically I'm looking for a place that's more comfortable.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
if
I think there's probably some curtains and things like that. You can kind of get up, where they probably have some things stored, where it's like scaffolding and they've got some planks across and that kind of thing. You don't have to go like all the way up, but you can get yourself a little bit isolated back there and get some time to yourself.
And then I think basically it's old habit. I'll go into search mode, and I think I'm going to gaze into the abyss.
What are you looking for?
I think it's an automatic response to where I've been, and I start, my automatic, what I normally do is I look for rules breakers or law breakers. But I think, in fact, I don't. It's kind of an unconscious thing. I don't realize I'm actually looking inside myself and trying to figure out what's going on with this new perception of violence as a means to an end, and what is with this new what's up with Jesse. I mean, it's looking inside to see how I feel about these things is what's really going on.
Interesting. Well, let's have you roll and let's see how we can work with that.
Okay. That is a 5 plus. Ooh, my dark is not good, so that's a 4.
That is a 4. I think that you will see Jessie, and as you see her kind of run away from Katerina, and for just a bit, she doesn't look like Jessie. She looks like someone else. And then she's back to being Jessie.
That just makes things more confusing.
Does that seem good? Like a
Oh, yeah.
reasonable confusion for you?
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Okay.
Do you want to give me a condition of confusion?
Yeah, I like that. I think that's appropriate. Is that okay with you, Jesse?
Oh, sure.
Okay, I just want to check in because I don't want to necessarily take away your autonomy on that choice, but I think that works with that relation there. Winter, the agent moves on, and then Katerina's at your elbow.
It's one of those things where it's like I look and then look away and then like look back and I just like scoff and it's like, what is it, Katerina? I don't have time to spar with you again.
You call that sparring?
Well, you did hit someone.
Is she okay?
Yeah, we were able to patch her up, but obviously she didn't come here tonight, so.
And you?
I am also pretty good. And it holds up like my bandaged wrist with just a little tiny little bit of red peeking through. And I'm like, it goes with my outfit.
I'm sorry about what I said. In the courtyard, it's sort of talking about you, but not really. It's stressful time of the month. Whatever. You know?
He just kind of like looks at you. He's like, well, I'm not going to make the obvious joke, but I guess I'll just, I'll forgive you on one condition.
Oh, promises.
I happen to have some party favors that are potentially not quite faculty approved, and I would like your help in disposing of them.
Okay, I can flush them down the toilet.
Sorry, what was that?
Okay, I can flush them down the toilet.
That would be great. You know what would be even better is if you put them in that blazer over there across the room.
You're kidding me.
Nope, super simple. It's just right on the other side of the room.
Why? What is... Fine, give them to me.
And
are you pulling her string?
I am pulling her string. Yeah.
Okay.
And so I pull like the little jar out, and then there's like a quick moment where I like take out like my handkerchief from my blazer pocket and like wipe it down, and then like deposit it like in the handkerchief in your hand. And I say, I will need that back. It's silk.
And I take it, say, you know, I take it back. You're exactly what I thought you were. And then I tear it open between my hands and just follow that onto the ground. I think that's shutting you down.
So you're resisting the string pull is what you're doing?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So
yeah, I'm shutting him down instead.
Okay. I think first you need to keep your cool to do that because he is pulling the string on you. So I think we need to resolve that first.
So what am I afraid of? I guess I just told you something that was probably more revealing than I should have.
That
And
seems,
you have immediately revealed that to be a terrible decision. And so I guess they're afraid that maybe you realize it actually, but that it meant more than like I'm on my period or whatever.
that seems like a good thing. Let's have you roll with cold.
That is a 6.
So, Winter, I think we kind of stop before you hand those to her and you realize what she's going to do. Like you can see that in her eyes. And you also realize that there's something more going on, that there's something up in that conversation. Does that seem like a fair exchange?
I wonder if you see like the necklace that I'm wearing, like has it like literally burned my skin a little bit?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And if it's okay, well, can I gaze into the abyss then to kind of like try to put 2 and 2 together? Or is it okay if I just like realize that you might be something more than human?
Yeah, like that's what I was keeping my cool back.
Yeah,
So,
so I
I
think-
failed. So yeah.
I think that
Yeah.
fails revelation. Also, as a part of what threw you off, at the corner of your eyes, you see that Toby has walked over and is in deep conversation with Nyasha right now.
So I think that like, did Katarina see that?
That's Katarina saw that. So that's Katarina's issue, and you, Winter, have realized she said something that you've put everything together. I think at that point, the clause, the moon comment, all of that.
Yeah. And I think that I kind of like reach out and like grab Katarina's wrist and I like say, I've heard stories about people like you. And I think I might be able to help you after all.
I'm getting enough help already, thanks.
And I like see the glances that you keep taking at Nyasha?
Yeah, I would be, because that's weird.
Okay.
I think I just kind of like offer and I say like, if there's something that you need sorted out, maybe I could help you with that.
Not the way you sort things out.
If it gets done, doesn't it?
And he gets things done. Iva wants to be included in the conversation.
No, that's not enough. No.
Okay.
It
well,
matters how things happen.
Now, I do think that is shutting someone down.
Oh my god. That's a 4.
It's a 4. So why don't you decide what condition Katarina needs to take for her badly frayed attempt to shut you down there, Winter?
I think that I just like look at her and say, one day you'll realize your childishness stands in the way of getting things done. And when you do, you know where to find me. So childish or naive.
Naive, nice. And the dance, kind of the music gets like now's the time people need to be on the dance floor, and all around you, Katerina, it gets louder and smellier and more of the press of people, and everything is crowded and loud. And now the lights are doing the flashing thing and the strobing and all of that. And you've never been in an environment like this when your senses, even as dulled as they are this heightened. We'll come back to you two in a moment. Jesse, you fled away from Katerina. You kind of stop to catch your breath, and you see that she's gone over and she's talking to Winter heatedly. You don't see Drake anywhere around.
Okay. I think I am going to try to slip out of the auditorium through a wall if necessary, and see if I can break into Jean's locker.
Okay. Let's have you roll Keep Your Cool.
That's a 4.
I think as you go to go through the wall, you are stopped as you look out into the crowd, and you see dancing in the middle of the crowd is Laura.
Well, that's unexpected.
She is enjoying herself.
Okay,
Let's have you keep your cool.
Okay.
Again. And the good news, of course, is that you get to mark XP.
Yes. Okay. Well, that is a 2.
Okay. So with what how were you afraid you were going to react to that?
That's. I think that's a good. That is a good question. I mean, I think I'm afraid that everybody will see what I am.
Yeah, there is this moment when you see, there's some noise by you. It isn't caused by you, but it's like some noise here, and like a dozen people turn to see what the noise is, and you think they're all looking at you. And you, I think, are actually going to take some harm here. How do you hurt yourself, kind of stumbling away from this?
I think it's metaphysical harm. I think I feel less real, and it's like I'm having trouble actually staying corporeal. I feel like I'm just going to fade out completely.
Yeah. Do you think we're getting close to your darker self?
I think I'm at risk. I don't think I'm at my darkest self yet, but I'm at risk of entering my darkest self.
Okay, so we are teetering on the edge of that. And Drake, what would you see there? You saw this strangeness. Now the music and bum, 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 and all of that is going on, and the thing that you're seated on is probably vibrating from the speakers.
So I think that now's the time that we need to make the plan that Jesse and I talked about coming in. And I think Drake kind of steps off into the curtain and slides down, and then looks for an exit so that he can go change.
Okay. Let's have. You don't want to be spotted doing this, right?
I do not want to be spotted. That is correct.
Then keep your cool.
Okay. That's an 11.
That is 11. So yeah, you slip out. You are the knight, and you can slip out into the hallway, past the teachers and stuff that are trying to keep kids from going into the rest of the school, and you can make your way down to your lockers.
So I think I change into. Ooh, I'm going to change into someone else's gym clothes.
Okay.
So that it's not obvious that it's me. And then I'm going to pull out. I think I brought some equipment with me.
Yeah, you
I'm going
did.
to pull out like a mask. It's like a, biker mask kind of thing to disguise myself, and then slip through the shadows looking for wrongdoers. Specifically, I think I'm going to head back towards the dance where there's a lot of noise.
Oh yeah, that's where everybody is at. So,
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's not a problem. I think this is a good place for us to take our 5-minute break. When we come back, for people who've gotten advances, we'll talk about what that means in the context of this, and we'll figure out where Katerina wants to go and where Winter wants to go.
Can I amend that just for a moment?
Sure.
I'm also going to grab Jessie's gym clothes to return
Sure.
to her.
That seems reasonable to me. Is part of your plan.
Yeah.
Do you think you know the locker combination, or do you actually have to break her locker to get in?
Ooh, I don't think I would break her locker. But I don't think I know the locker combination.
Then how would you get her gym clothes?
Yeah, that's a good one. So yeah, I think that I head back with my different gym clothes to get her so that we can execute the plan. That's a good plan.
Okay, that
Okay.
seems good. All right, let's take 5 and we will come back. So it looks like your choices are add 1 to a stat.
Yeah,
Ghost
yeah,
wound.
I looked over them. I'm going to take the fake move from the Hollow playbook, so I can add 1 to any rolls that involve lying.
That's a nice one. Winter, Katerina has deliciously revealed a whole host of vulnerabilities to you. Your handler is here. Iva is still trying to watch to see what kind of leverage she can gain. And of course, there's that person that seems to be from your mother's cult as one of the parental chaperones. Plus, a good maybe 10 to 15% of the students here are hopped up on bliss and kind of going overboard even in the early dance days. What do you want to do, Winter?
Well, I really need to offload these drugs. So what I'm gonna try to do is Katerina holding a clutch or a purse or anything like that?
Yes. This like I think some fancy brand. I don't remember, but my aunt gave it to me.
That's
Okay.
right. Coach.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. What I want to try to do is finagle it so that the drugs end up in your clutch. And I feel like that's definitely a thing that I would have to roll for.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I feel like you would be a really good person to pin it on because you have that red-handed condition.
I think so. So I think that's keep your cool, and you can take the +1 from the condition. I think that's fair.
Yeah, so the thing that I'm also afraid of at this point is that if it comes to an altercation, I feel like the drugs will be revealed if I'm not like successful with this. But it's fine because with my +1 cold and with my with that condition, that becomes an 11. So I definitely planted those drugs on you.
So you drop those in Katerina's clutch as she's kind of moving away, and then what do you want to do?
Well, now that I've done that, I really want to track down this member of my mother's cult. So I'd like to scan the room and see if I can find that person again.
Yeah, I think that's no problem. They are standing off to the side. They've got glasses. They've got a dad sweater on, kind of cardigan, button-up shirt, and they're kind of to the music there at the side, trying to listen and be dad cool, as it were.
Yeah, so I think that I kind of first of all I wave off Iva and I say just like be natural. I need to go check something out. And then I kind of like make my way over there, like kind of like not super like noticeable or anything. I'm not like storming over there. And then I just kind of do that thing where like I get nearby and I start like doing like I don't know, like getting snacks off the snack table or something like that. Like close enough where like this person could initiate a conversation, but basically just scoping them out.
And he turns to you and he says, "How about those Ritz with the little tuna thing on that? How about that, huh?"
Yeah, I don't eat carbs right now, but
You kids, no, are you gluten free too?
I sometimes.
He leans in. All hail the Dark Mistress. Oh yeah, gluten free and all that like keto things, right?
Yeah, yeah. Very particular about my regimen. Have a lot of rules to follow.
So you're enjoying your time at the school? I hear you transferred in.
Yeah, I'm pretty homesick, but I'm making friends, just like my mama taught me.
Yes, absolutely. She's promised she will come for you. But anyway, it's this is pretty fun. I like this whole Gold Rush theme.
Yeah, it was definitely a choice. Is there like a countdown for this event? There's supposed to be a show later on, so I'm wondering, when does the guest of honor arrive?
I understand that some people would want that that to happen, and the program's going to happen as it is, but some people have to be patient.
Well, I'm really excited to see what this special guest has to say. But I guess I have to wait like everyone else. But is there a possibility that you could just give me a little preview of what to expect?
Absolutely. I'm going to murder your caseworker tonight.
I need to keep my cool.
I think so.
Oh my god. That's a 6. Yeah, even with my +1.
What are you afraid is going to happen? He says this to you, and he's doing his dad thing, and then he leans in. I'm going to kill your caseworker tonight.
I am
back.
terrified that this is going to blow up in my face.
So, yeah, I think you see your caseworker approaching, even as you're starting to kind of panic, and what tells your caseworker that something's up?
I think it's like, I'm usually really composed, but like obviously this person has said something to me that like gets past my mask, and like there's this like look of genuine like twisted delight that like breaks through. It's
And as your caseworker approaches to kind of like maybe intercept, this guy goes, my daughter has the same reaction to my dad jokes.
And I just kind of like laugh and I say, "Oh, sir, you're so funny. But I really have to get back to my date. I hope you have a good night."
Oh, I will. Waves at you and Agent Jing.
And then I kind of like mosey on.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, I don't have a dad, so I don't really know how to talk to dads. Like they're weird, don't you think?
He didn't try to touch you, did he?
No, that definitely didn't happen.
All right.
Is that like, do you ask everyone that?
I have a lot of different cases. You would be surprised.
Well, that's sad. I'm gonna go now.
Okay. She definitely, like the hackles clearly are up on the back of her neck. Like she's alerted. Like she doesn't know what's going on, but you can tell that she's feeling like there's something not quite right. Does that seem fair?
Yep.
Katerina.
Well, I've got a bag of drugs
Yes, you do.
that I'm not aware that I have. So
that is a Chekhov's clutch right now.
yeah, I just wander around a little bit. I don't know. Probably leave.
Okay, you want to try and exit the dance?
Oh no. Well, I'm gonna try.
Okay, you'll get to the doors, and the teachers say, "Well, you're not supposed to go to the rest of the school."
Just the bathroom. I have to go to the bathroom.
And they'll point to the one that's attached to the gym, and it's literally essentially the locker rooms.
Fine.
And
turn around.
okay. And you don't see You don't see Winter. Probably don't see Jesse at this point.
Definitely don't see Drake.
Don't see Drake. You do see that it looks like Naisha and Toby have kind of moved to another section of the gym to chat.
Yeah, I'm not touching that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know. Go. There's like bleachers or whatever. Go
Yeah.
sit on like the very top one.
Yeah, kind of get up and climb and sit. I think that's no problem for you. And is there anything you're looking for, or are you just waiting to see what happens? Are you just perched there at
Just
the top of this hill? Is it?
thinking. I think about.
Still smell that werewolf?
Yeah, well, I am under the impression that is Naisha. Just how wrong Winter is about everything,
Yeah,
and like it's hard to get myself worked up.
yeah, because you
I'm
got
doing
this
my
collar
best.
on that's just holding you back, right?
Well, yes, but that is intentional. I did that to myself.
That's right. So I'm going to leave you sitting there for a bit until we see what mess the rest of them make, and we'll let you react to that. Does that seem fair? Jesse, you're kind of in terror. You're hurting. You probably fled, probably back to the locker rooms that are attached here to the bathrooms to kind of get away from line of sight of people, and you're having a hard time holding it together. And you saw Laura.
I think I'm going to look in the mirror and see has anything changed.
I think you're having that issue where, remember you talked about the fact that it's kind of an overlay.
Yeah.
Look in the mirror. I think you have that thing where you're seeing that go back and forth. Like you're hurt and it's harder to maintain that illusion.
I think I need to figure out what's going on. I'm going to head back out there and try to figure out who this Laura is.
Okay. How do you want to do that?
Just and go out toward the dance floor, get a good look at this Laura and study them, and maybe even get close to them, and just try to
Why don't
try to understand.
Why don't you gaze into the abyss?
Oh, that is a 6.
And you look for her, and you kind of get on the dance floor, and we get this montage. It's hard to see. You're kind of pushing through the people here, and every once in a while, someone passes through you. They don't realize it, but maybe they get a chill, and then you are kind of gotten in the dance floor, and then you feel this hand on your shoulder, and it spins you around. And you will see Laura there. And she says, "You took my life. And I'm here to drag you to hell." And she reaches out and starts to grab you like she is going to plant a kiss on you. What do you do?
I strike out at her.
Okay, let's have you roll with volatile.
7.
So that is a 7. On a 7 to 9, you harm them, but choose one.
I'll go with they learn something about my true nature and gain a string on me.
I think that they, as you push back on them, they go, Drake, Katarina, Winter, your friends, people you know. If I can't have you first, I'll take them. And you can see that she like fades back into the crowd. Clearly you push back hard enough on her that she is hurt, but she like you vanishes into the crowd, and the music comes back up. If we were on a show, the music had been pulled down during that exchange, and now it comes back up in full force, and you're standing there, you know, caught between dancing pairs, some of them wildly, you know, out of control from the bliss that they took earlier.
I'm going to look for Drake.
Okay. This is a good opportunity to cut over to Drake. Drake, you make your way back into the gym.
Right. So I think I'm in more nondescript clothes, like gym clothes. I described a mask earlier. I think that mask is kind of tucked away so that it's not obvious, but it can be grabbed quickly. And I'm looking for Jesse in order to complete our plan of swapping into our more comfortable clothes. But at the same time, I would have. I'm really confused. Jesse's not Jesse. Jesse is, I don't know, a shape changer of some type. So I want to figure out more about that as well. So I like the idea that I slip up on her and she feels a hand on her shoulder and spins her around, and it's Drake.
Even as she's trying to do that, does that work for you, Jesse?
Yes, but I think I'm going to have to keep my cool.
Okay.
And what I'm probably afraid of in this situation is that I'll overreact and strike out.
That seems fair.
But I got a 10.
So Drake is the person you were looking for, the anchor that you were searching for, and he's right there. How do you react?
And I think I'm relieved to see him, and I just blurt out, "I need your help."
Ah, I understand. I've changed. Are you ready to change too?
No, it's not that. There's someone. I lower my voice. It's like, there's someone here at the dance who's trying to kill me.
And I say, let's go someplace less dangerous. And I think the dancers are flailing around, and I take you off to the side.
Okay.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, and I describe Laura to him, and I think you recognize. You recognize this as the person you sort of saw me as.
What's Laura's distinctive feature that when you describe it, he would know that's who you're talking about?
That's a good question. I don't remember if I ever described Laura.
I don't think you described your original self.
Yeah, I think Laura has some very noticeable ear piercings, very large earrings on the left ear, like these 3 big studs.
So maybe the hair with the shave to expose the ear,
Right,
and that kind of thing, very visible.
Yeah.
And she describes that person that you saw her change into a bit ago, Drake.
This might sound crazy, but it makes a lot of sense to me. I think there's a shape changer here in the school, and it could be anyone. And because earlier I saw you, someone who appeared to be you, shift into the person you just described and had like the ear piercings, just like what you said.
Drake, I need you. I need the night.
What? How did you know that?
I've been watching you a long time, Drake, and I admire you. You're a courageous person. I know that you won't turn away someone in distress, and I'm like practically throwing myself into his arms.
Are you pulling a string, or are you?
Yeah. I think I am pulling a string to try to get him to promise to protect me.
No problem. I promise you will be protected. Let me find someplace safe for you while I find this dangerous person.
And you're gonna
Ooh.
try and sneak her out, or what?
No, the perfect safe place is Katerina, because Katerina makes sure that there's not going to be any violence around. So I'm going to search out Katerina.
You can see Katerina. They're on one side of the gym. The bleachers have been left in here. They kind of done that thing where they folded them up.
Uh-huh.
So there's and Katerina has clearly climbed up, and she is sitting there by herself. The light kind of catches her every once in a while with the strobe.
So I take Jesse up to Katerina, and I tell Katerina,
Like I'm sitting there with like my fingers in my ears.
and I kind of wave my hand in front of you and say, Jesse's in trouble. Can you protect her while I try to take care of it?
Yeah, and I think I don't realize until it's just too late exactly who he's taking me to. This is.
You're kind of looking over your shoulder
Right,
for the other Laura, right?
Right.
Yeah, I think she just nods and like is not super paying attention because she's still like looking for Winter. But yeah, like sure, whatever. God, can you tell them to turn that music down?
And then I think Katerina was at the top of the bleachers, and I'm going to drop down kind of behind them, like under the bleachers.
Mm-hmm. Apple cores and all kinds of horrible things dropped back here. It's nasty.
I'm used to the dirty street. So, and I think I'd like to gaze into the abyss to see if I can't find the mischief maker.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and roll for me?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That is a 10.
Then I think you will definitely see that girl that she described out dancing in the middle of the dance floor, enjoying herself, soaking in what is rightfully hers in this dance.
Okay. And I think I'm going to go up. I'm going to go up and I'm going to try to turn her on.
We'll come back to that in just 1 second.
Fantastic.
Let's come back to Winter.
Yeah, so I don't have any drugs. All of the like powerful people hate me. And my agent is probably going to die tonight. And if they don't die, then I'm definitely going to never hear the end of it. My mom's alive and is going to like try to come get me. That's great. Winter's just kind of at a loss right now. He's just, I think that he's going to actually, he's just going to go insert himself into trouble.
I think that you will see at the corner of your eye, there is a door out where latecomers have come in, and you will see sneaking in, trying to be casual, trying to fly below the radar, trying not to be seen. You will definitely see Chad. and you will definitely see Billy. Like, they've clearly had a couple of hours to maybe like, boy, we really want to go to the dance, and to work up their courage to disobey and come here.
Great. Yeah. So I think I kind of like, not storm over, but I go over and I like nudge Iva, and I'm just like, look what just walked in.
And she looks kind of pissed, as much as anything, because she got turned down by Chad effectively for that, and so she falls in behind you. What do you want to do?
I think that in the most real housewives fashion, Winter like storms right over and it's just like,
They're just coming in like they think they're being all clever. They're coming in, they're kind of holding hands, like we're gonna take care of each other, and we're gonna come in. He can't find us right away, but maybe we can get a dance on the dance floor, and then you're right there.
like, well, you two certainly seem pretty cozy for accident victims.
And Jack goes, I feel better.
You don't look better. And that's like a full-on shutdown.
Oh yeah, let's have you do that. He's clearly tried to apply, like maybe he and Billy have tried to apply makeup blend to cover the marks on his face.
Yeah, that's a 10.
That is a 10. So choose one from below.
I'm gonna take one forward.
Okay. Yeah, he cowers under your gaze and so on. And Billy's like, it was my idea.
And I like turn on her, and I just like,
you can see that she's gotten like some like discount reading glasses things and tried to fit her glasses into the frames there that were broken, and when you look up close, you can see the tape.
yeah, and I turn on her and I say, I gave the two of you explicit instructions to stay home and enjoy your recovery. I was doing the two of you a favor. I wanted the two of you to have a pleasant evening together.
I'm so sorry.
And I think at that point, Winter just like straight up, like, Winter looks at Billy and says, all right, Billy, I'll let you stay, but you have to send Chad away.
Oh. Are you spending that string?
Yes.
And she stands there, and she looks at you, and she looks back at Chad, and Chad still got her hand, like together we can make it kind of thing. And he looks at her, and she pulls her hand back. And she comes over to you, and she puts her hands on your chest, and she bows her head.
And that's where I put like a shoulder around her, and I look at Chad and I say, I'll see you on Monday, Chad.
And you see him kind of start to stagger back towards the doors, completely crushed. Iva does this to him as he goes. Billy's trying to keep from crying, but so I think that's the point at which the camera will cut up to Katerina. Katerina, you've been looking for Winter. Got Jesse by you. Drake has vanished, and then you'll see Winter is coming back in. He's got Iva and Billy. Still got bruises around her on her face, blackened eyes from where you struck her. Is being brought in like maybe she's trying to keep from crying. Almost the sense that maybe she doesn't want to be here, yet she is.
And can we disappear the drugs in my bag? I don't want to have them.
Okay. Are you cool with that, Winter?
Yeah, we've only got like an hour left, so I doubt they'll come into play for the finale. So
sure, let's disappear that.
Okay. Yeah, I think I stay where I am, like seeing what's her name? Seeing your gang member that I hit, I think is enough. Because I was gonna go over to you, but after I saw that's enough to make me think again. So yeah, I think turning to Jesse and like still with kind of my hands over my ears and like eyes closed, just what do you need to be safe from?
And it's complicated. It's something from my past.
Everything's complicated. Is there anything I can actually help with? Because I need to do something.
I don't even know what's happening. I don't know if anyone can help me.
You and me both.
How did you even find out about me anyway?
You go to my school? You're in my homeroom class. What do you mean?
And I look at her. I think I realize that she didn't actually know. It's like, oh, okay, never mind. It's
Clearly there's something. Just tell me a story. I will. Do I have any strings in you? No, I don't. Nope.
Do you want to try and turn her on to push her there?
I'm not trying to turn her on. No, more asking for her to distract me.
I think that's it. I died once. Like a friend drove off a bridge while I was in the car, and we drowned. I mean, we didn't. I mean, not literally died, but I was in a coma. I mean, that's why my parents moved me to this school, because everyone was talking about it, and that's. I don't know if that's something you can ever come back from. I thought I could pretend that it never happened, that I could build a new life, but I don't think it ever goes away.
It doesn't. And I don't know how you live with something like that except by shutting it down and shoving it. You can't. But I know people who've had similar things happen. Do you feel like you're the same now
Oh,
compared to what you were like before?
I'm nothing like I was. And I think Jesse sort of gives it an embarrassed little laugh. It's I mean, I think maybe I think maybe you're helping me resolve my traumatized condition now.
I think the choice of whether heal or clear the traumatized. If you want to do the clearing the traumatized, then you both can mark XP.
Yeah, I think I'll clear traumatized. And yeah, and as my special move, we both get XP for that.
Cool. That gets me an advancement.
Yes. You can take another move, take a move from another skin, or you can give yourself a +1 to one of your stats.
I'll wait until the next scene break
Okay.
to decide in a second.
Sure. I'm going to cut to Drake here. I think at that point, Drake, roll with hot.
Yeah. So specifically, what I'm trying to do in this case is I'm trying to get Laura's attention so that she pays attention to me so I can draw her away. That is a 6 minus 1 is a 5.
So yeah, you draw her attention, and she comes over. She goes, Drake, and she is up close to you, and she smells good. Whatever perfume, whatever is just kind of wafts in, and she kind of takes a hold of your arms to dance, and she leans in close, and she kisses you. Take 2 harm.
Yeah.
As she just draws bits of your soul out, you feel that kind of go weak in the knees and so on, and you see her get a little more, like her cheeks flush, and she lets you step back like a bit after that, after she's done that. You gonna save the last dance for me?
Always. And I think I kind of shake myself. Do you mind if like other people noticed that she planted one on me and
Oh
I'm
yeah,
stunned by it?
there are people.
And they're kind of laughing at my inexperience because, I'm obviously stunned by kissing a girl. Oh. And I think Drake, again, is confused and isn't sure exactly what to do. I think he wants to spend more time with Laura. He wants to go up and so she goes back to dancing?
She returns back to dancing. She looks over her shoulder at you, like you could, if you wanted to keep dancing with her, you could.
But I'm just stunned. I don't know. I'm not certain what to do. I think Drake just stands there kind of in the spotlight. Not certain what to do.
Is that keeping her cool? It sounds to me like
Oh.
you want to go and dance with her, right?
Yeah, that sounds perfect. So that is a 6 and cold. That's a 7.
It's a 7. So I don't think you can get the gumption up necessarily to go to her, unless you kind of make a big scene of it.
And I don't think I really, I'm torn at whether or not I want to go. So I don't think I wouldn't feel comfortable making a big scene. I think I'd just kind of back off and stare between her and Jesse up in the rafters,
Yeah.
up in the bleachers.
Yeah.
And I think I'm at a loss about what to do. And obviously I'm weakened. Someone else might be able to help. Someone who knows people better than I do. So I'm going to go look for Winter.
Okay. Well, we'll come to you in a second. Winter, Bill, you've brought Billy to heal.
Oh, yeah. Nothing about this night is going according to plan. I think that there's a moment where he like goes over to the punch bowl and he like gets himself like he gets Billy and Iva both cups of punch, and then like just kind of like stares into the bowl and like has this like event horizon moment where he's like, I don't know what to do, and he's kind of like gaze into the abyss. It's like, what would my mother do in this particular situation? And he's basically trying to find a way to make this the most memorable night possible, but also like find some way to throw someone under the bus.
Let's have you roll.
Snake eyes.
Let's see. So I think you will gaze into the abyss. And I think you actually have a vision. And I think you will see Agent Jing take one last look back into the dance hall. Her shift is over. And you will see her go out, and she is walking out to the parking lot. And you can tell that there's a figure out there waiting for her. And you can decide. I mean, maybe you could stop them, maybe not. What do you do?
How far away is that? Like,
You could maybe make it in a run. This is nothing you can do subtly. You have to make a scene.
I think that I think that Winter like just bolts towards the door, and like along the way like picks up like a folding chair or something like that. And it's that thing where it's like the dark parking lot and you see like the dad sweater like looming over Agent Jing, and all of a sudden you just hear like a screaming like ah, and then like
Let's have you keep your cool.
It's a 6.
I think that as you run to do that and get in the way, Agent Jing turns. She sees the guy. You see he's got a gun, silencer, and you see Agent Jing look at him, and Agent Jing throws herself in the way to keep you from being shot. And there'll be that, and she hits the ground at your feet. And you now probably hear noise from in the building because you slammed your way out of those outside doors past the teachers, and there's some teachers coming out. And this guy begins to run away.
It's that thing where like Winter like collapses on his knees and like crawls over to the Agent Jing and like tries to put pressure on the wounds, and there's just blood, and his white suit is stained with blood, and like there's like panic on his face, and he's just like, I'm sorry, this shouldn't have happened to you.
and she's trying to talk, but she can't. I'm going to cut to Drake looking for you, because that was where we left off. I think that we can bring these two things. Drake, you saw Winter, and then you saw Winter go running, grabs a folding chair, and runs past the sort of chaperone teachers to the doors that go out to the outside parking lot, smashes through them like loud, like everybody hears it over in that side. The music kind of covers it for the whole room, but that's it, and goes rushing out. Do you follow?
Yes, I think my training kicks in, and I head after the fleeing person. Yes.
So you will hit that parking lot, get out there, you kind of orient. Winter knew exactly where he was going because of the vision, but it takes you a second to orient, and you see Winter fall to his knees, and you see that figure running to get away.
And Winter is all bloody,
Yeah.
and I'm going to run after the figure.
Okay. Don't stop to help the person who's been shot.
Vengeance indicates that I have to go after the perpetrator.
Absolutely. Your hunger isn't saving the innocent. Your
That's right.
hunger is justice.
That's right.
So while you might have been able to help save her life, you will go and run to chase him down. I think that I need you to keep your cool.
Okay.
To get to them.
Ooh, boxcars.
So you catch up with them as they're getting to their car, starting to throw the door open. They've got a gun.
While I'm running after them, I slip on the mask.
Okay.
And I'm going to jump them. I'm going to put them down.
Absolutely. I'm going to impose your condition here.
Ooh, yeah.
Of uncertain.
Good. Yeah.
Per Sarah's suggestion. I think it is the moment when you get up to them and you realize they've got a gun, and there's all that talk that Katerina put in your head earlier. Let's have you roll with volatile.
I think what I see actually is it's the dad sweater, right?
Yeah.
I was like, what? So that's a 6, and my volatile is a +2, which makes it 8. And the condition is -1?
Yep.
So that's still a 7.
7. So you will like smash the door into them, but you have to choose one.
I like the idea that they get a string on me. They learn something about my true nature and gain a string on me. So maybe the mask isn't quite right or something.
Yeah, like they've been to the school, they've seen things, they know exactly who you are, and you smash into them. They go, Drake, shout your name out.
That's right. Good.
We'll come back to this tableau in a second. Katerina, you'll see at the far end of the gym that noise, and Winter go rushing out, leaving behind Iva and Billy.
I turn to Jesse and say, I never almost died, but something happened, or sort of, to me too. Like I tug on the necklace. If I weren't wearing this, I'd be out there probably tearing people's throats out. And I kind of want to use the big reveal here.
Okay.
And say, like, I turn into a wolf once a month. Is that weirder than what happened to you?
Yeah, and I will I mean, I will accept you as you are, and 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 I think I reach out as if I'm going to remove the necklace, and I say, "Is that what you want?"
To be here instead of
To be or to be who you are, to embrace your nature.
why do you think I'm wearing this? No one
Because
put it on me.
like you, oh, so do you really think that's something that you can just reject? I think. I mean, if you're a monster, if that's what you are deep down, is that something you can just deny?
And I like turn and like look you like straight in the eye and say, I am trying so hard.
I mean, I think maybe you don't intend it, but I think maybe you're shutting me down.
Okay.
This heavy roll was cold.
That's 6.
What'd you get?
6.
So I think as you're doing that, out of the corner of your eye, taking advantage of the distraction, you see Naisha sneaking out the other end of the gym with Toby, clearly leading her away to another isolated part of the school.
Okay, yeah, I'm not going to. This is more important.
We'll come back to you two in just a second. Winter, you see Drake come flying past you. And then they hear the sounds of bones crunching. And you hear, screams out. The dad voice screams out, Drake! What would you do?
It depends on if Agent Jing has died in my arms or not.
I think that's a question for you. Does she die, or is there a chance to save her? Because if there's a chance to save her, I'll let you roll.
I don't have any power to save her, though.
Keep her cool, apply pressure. I mean, there are adults coming. Try and keep her stabilized. But on the other hand, she got shot 3 times.
Yeah. I think that Winter continues to apply pressure and tries to save her. So let's see how this goes.
Okay.
It's a 9.
It's a 9. So I think that, let's see here. I think that this is going to reveal to any observers from your mother's cult that you are not ready.
So I was gonna play with the ambiguity of whether or not like Winter was truly doing this for altruistic reasons or not.
Mhm.
So
If you want to modify the we can modify too.
yeah, I think let's see. Yeah, I think that yeah, is there like maybe some other like condition that could that like trying something else? Like I'd still like to leave that ambiguity.
Yeah. Then I think what it's going to be is that it's not like the cult that sees it, but I think it's that your followers, Billy and Iva, see it, and Billy perceives it as this is truly who you are, and Iva perceives it as an absolute failing and weakness. Does that seem like a fair cost?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm fine if it changes the perception with my peers.
Yeah, and I think we will see that janitor is coming like faster than anybody ought to run. Is out there to where you're at. Drake, you've hit this guy, you've staggered him back, he's called out your name, you hear people coming. You could finish him off, could knock him out, could tie him up. What do you want to do?
I think so. My first instinct, of course, is to silence him.
Okay.
So that because he knows who I am.
Yeah.
However, I still have the condition, and I haven't worked through the uncertain
That's right.
problem. So I think I need to keep my cool. Do I follow justice? I think that's one of the things under my hunger is that do I follow that and keep and I'll let the keep me cool decide how I react.
Let's do that. I'm going to give you the -1 because you've also still got confusion on you.
Okay. I rolled a 7, and that is cold.
Yep.
So that would make it an 8. -1 is still a 7.
Okay.
And I think what I'd be afraid of is, I'm afraid of how I'd react, learning something from myself from this. So I think that I silence him by finishing him off, but I'm guilt-ridden from it. I'm sorry?
Are you killing him?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Then I want you to roll volatile.
Okay. Okay.
Still a little uncertain.
Yes. So that's a 7 plus 2 minus 1 is an 8.
So tell me how you kill this guy.
I think this hasn't happened before. I don't think I normally kill. I've been known in the past. There's been maimings, but I don't think there's actually been death before. And I think that I bend him. Oh, I basically slam the car door on him, and there's a crunch, like on his neck. There's a crunch, and he gurgles, and that's it.
Absolutely. And I cut back to Winter, and this janitor goes, call an ambulance. I'll apply pressure. Can you do that? Can you do that, son?
Yeah, I'm still like shaking and everything. I'm like, yeah, and I pull my phone out and like it's slipping in my hands because of the blood, but like I managed to dial like 911 and like I'm just like kind of so shaken.
And as soon as you dial 911, he shouts out, let me get this right. He shouts out, Night Terror, emergency code 487, clearance through. Dispatch now. And you hear the operator go, clearance accepted, affirmative. And he's trying to, he's following, you mean you saved her life, and he is holding it steady, and this undercover vigilante is has called for an ambulance, and you know that Drake is somewhere else in the parking lot after that guy who shot them.
I think that like now that it's, you know, now that I know that Jing's gonna be like is taken care of, I drop the phone there like by him so that it still stays connected to 911. But then like I just run in the direction where I heard like the gurgling coming from.
Okay, we'll cut to that reveal in a moment. Jesse, Katerina, what are you doing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Katerina, you just noticed someone's taking Naisha taking Toby out. So what are you going to do?
I feel like.
Oh, you cut out there. I sorry, you froze throughout that whole thing.
Is this better?
Yes.
Okay. This conversation is more important, so I'm not going to follow them.
Okay.
But what are you going to do? Or say?
Okay. All right. Well, I have absolutely no idea that anything sinister is going on with Naisha and Toby. So I think I'm going to look for the Laura, and it's like, thank you. I think
she's still dancing. A bunch of people are now pulling over to those doors because there's something going on outside. But
yeah, and I tell Katerina, I think I need to bury my past once and for all, and I'm going to head down to the dance floor and confront Laura.
Is it okay if I come with you? Because I just said if you need my help.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and yeah, I'll follow you down.
To push your way through, there's shouting now going on from those doors, but people are still dancing. There's a lot of people on Bliss. The music is still going. They're still trying to assess what's going on outside, and you can come down, and Laura is dancing, and she is waiting for you, and she says, "Hello, Laura."
And I think I'm just going to charge at her and attack her physically.
Oh wow! So go straight on charging. Yeah. Katerina, you see that she just goes running, charges at her.
Yeah, I think I like make a motion to grab you, and I'm like too late because I was not expecting that.
Let's have you lash out physically.
And I say Jesse. I say like the name you've given us.
Yeah, and that was a 10.
So yeah, you will deal harm to them. What does that look like?
I think I'm throwing punches, and they actually go down on the floor. I mean, I was sort of expecting this to almost be like a metaphysical battle, but it's like it's like a physical battle. It's like these two teenagers suddenly getting into a fist fight, and she is down on the floor, and she's kind of stunned, and I'm raining punches on her without any real resistance for at least a moment or two.
Katerina, you see their faces pass between them. Oh, like at any one time, one of them is wearing Laura's face and one of them is wearing Jesse's face, but it keeps moving back and forth between them. What would you do?
I would like to use this move I just gave myself.
Okay.
It's another serpentine move. Mesmerizing. And I'm aiming for the one that was originally the one that Jesse just attacked.
Absolutely. I mean, if as long as you don't fail, it should be fine.
Yeah, so I think I'm like I get up a little closer and just like try to catch their eye, like my eyes like flash gold. And let's see how this goes. Oh my gosh. Oh wait, this is plus hot. That is an 8.
That is an 8. Even if I were to apply one of your conditions, you would still be at a 7. But what is the thing that draws everyone's attention?
I am growling.
Okay. Like reverberative growling there, and eyes go, and this figure definitely is caught in that.
And for a moment, Jesse, they just freeze.
Jesse, do you want to finish Laura off?
Yeah, I think so.
One more lash out physically.
Okay.
And I don't have any strings on you, but I'm just yelling like in between the growling, just stop. It's stop.
Okay. Well, I got a 7.
So, choose one.
I'll let you decide how bad the harm turns out.
I think you see Katerina, you see Jesse rip the essence apart of this person. They become phantasmal, and Jesse drives her fists into this person who's you're holding their gaze, and they come apart at the seams. And ectoplasm, gas, just a fade, and Jesse destroys them.
And what's the look on your face now, Jesse? Is this just is it action? Is there any joy, like, or are you? What's the emotion here
Yeah.
that I'm getting off of you?
And I think it's like it's almost exhaustion. It's like this has been a very, very long day, and I'm sort of at the end of my tether.
Okay, then I think there's probably like a little bit of a space cleared. And I think I go over to where it's just you now. Like there's nobody under you. And I like kneel down beside you and like take your elbow and just say, come on, it helps if you're alone. Or more alone. And I'll try to like lead you into the bathrooms.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that's fine. I'm kind of wondering where the Red Exorcist is at the moment.
We'll come back to that in just a second, because their actually attention is probably drawn out in the parking lot right now. But in another part of the parking lot, Winter, you've run and you come up and you see Drake. You see that car door bent. You see that guy's neck caught in the door, his head at an unnatural angle. It's very clear to you, Winter, that Drake has killed this man.
I think that there's this moment where like Drake kind of, or where Winter stumbles forward and then like kind of stops and then straightens up and like pulls that handkerchief out of his pocket and like wipes the tears from his face and then wipes the blood off of his hands. And he's kind of got this like resigned look on his face. It's definitely not the look of someone who just like, you know, saved a life and like is still torn up about it. And he looks around. Is Drake visible to me anywhere?
I assume, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm still standing there, and I'm looking stunned by what I've just done.
And I kind of walk over, and I look down at the body, and I'm just like, you killed a killer.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Well, I think that I could very easily tell the police. I saw you struggling, and I saw him fall, and it was a terrible accident.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They'll ask questions because, you know, I'm not an upstanding member of society. But go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm somewhat of an upstanding member. I think that I might be able to put in a good word. I did just save someone's life.
Well, thank you, Winter. I don't know how to repay you.
I'll think of a way.
And I think we will see, as soon as, you know, they've got other medics on, you'll see Night Terror probably pulled on his black hood and has come over to here, and you will sell this story to them. Meanwhile, you've heard the music turn off. They've clearly shut that down. Like, there's been a shooting in the parking lot. They're stopping the dance, and so there's that kind of confusion that is going on there. It doesn't look like they're going to still do the lock-in. So we could do a couple more scenes here between people if you want, or we could move to epilogues. Sarah, what do you think? Since you've got Jessie there, do you want to speak to her about what just happened? Or
I think it's, well, what do you think, Stephen?
It's up to you.
I could go either way. Like, I think I take you into the bathroom and it's just like there's nothing to clean up, but I sort of like lead you through the motions of like how I just like I have you like wash your hands because it like to get that feeling off of them, like there's no blood, but it's still
and I
feel it.
And I think once I'm out of sight of the bathroom, I'm going to take a slug of whiskey, and I will offer it to you.
And Katerina sort of looks like she's going to refuse and then takes it anyway. And that kind of night.
Yeah, I think with it, you know, we see the shots. We see Drake, your adopted mom, is there as soon as they call, to come pick you up, and she's there with your adopted sister, and they talk to the police. Your mom speaks up for you as well. They just want to take you home. Billy's mom will come for you, Winter, and certainly, seems more upset about what happened to you than anything that Billy saw. And of course, Jesse's parents show up to pick her up, which is you. And you fall, I assume, easily back into that identity. And then your aunt comes to pick you up, Griselda.
And I like climb into the car, and I think there's the second where I'm just like sitting there. And then I like put the seat back a little bit and say like, thanks.
Do you need to go to the woods?
No, just home.
We'd go through Steak and Shake.
Chocolate?
Okay. Let's go to epilogues. Drake, what is your epilogue?
I think my epilogue is, you see kind of this montage sequence of school and things kind of sort of get back together, but there's a little bit of a tightness, a little bit of a closeness between Katerina and Winter and myself and Jesse, because we've been through this shared experience. And I think that at some point there's, you see us all kind of slip into that little garden, that little sliver of a garden, woods kind of area that was nearby. And I think you see a group of kids, and I'll let, maybe Katerina's there, maybe other people are there, but I think that, Drake stands up to say something and says, my name's Drake and I'm a killer. And this is kind of a AA experience of trying to get through and deal with the violence that's inside of all of us. And you see us all kind of hug at the end and kind of try and console each other.
And we'll see which the other PCs would attend that kind of thing. But that seems like a good way to try to handle your hunger. Mm-hmm. Jesse, what about you? What's your epilogue?
Yeah, I think after the events of the dance, Jesse has sort of gained a bit more confidence, but it's a little fragile. But she's holding it together. She's going to school. She's acting normal, but like she notices her parents are acting a little oddly, and then one day, about a week later, she overhears them. They're on the phone talking to Laura's parents, and they're saying, "No, we haven't seen Laura. We haven't seen Laura. You're crazy. No, you cannot talk to Jesse about this."
Nice. Winter, what is your epilogue?
So Winter probably did attend that garden kind of like confessional thing, and has reached out to each of the others in his own way to try to make amends, but also low key to keep working them, to keep increasing their reliance on him. He definitely ran for school president, and he definitely got it because he was the guy who saved that woman. He gains a little bit of notoriety in the city, and he starts building up a bigger and bigger following. He is and there's basically a point where he's looking at his Instagram feed, and like he's watching his follower count go up, and he gets a direct message from like someone whose handle is like Dark Queen, and it just says well done. And then he like goes and taps on the profile, and then before he can like respond to it or anything like that, the profile gets deleted. And then there's also one other moment where like he visits Agent Jing in the hospital, and she kind of like looks untrustingly at him, and there's this moment where it's like he just basically tells her, he's like, I didn't need to let you live.
She nods. She trusts you more, but she's probably even a little more scared of you. And that's a good combination. Katerina, what is your epilogue?
We get a couple scenes in that garden. The first one is in that sort of support group meeting, and she goes but like doesn't say anything that first meeting. But I think there are definitely some conversations between like her and Drake, and then like we see her like sitting with Jesse at lunch a few times, and then it's very, very early in the morning, like just after sunup, and she's walking into that garden, human, like missing her socks, but otherwise pretty like put together looking. Like it doesn't look like she spent the night in the woods. And there's another pile of skin there. This is like another werewolf has changed here, and she crouches down beside it and piece by piece begins to eat it.
Nice. Well, that's our Monsterhearts game. Thank you all very much. I had no idea where that was going to go, and I don't think I could have called any of that at the start of the evening. If you don't mind, I would like to do basically stars and maybe some general thoughts on a go around, things that you liked about the play, about the characters, any of that kind of stuff. First time running Monsterhearts. I do like it. I'm still getting used to the tools. I appreciate, by the way, those of you who are Monsterheart veterans helping me out, figuring out where to angle some of those moves. So I want to say that as a star, as everyone was very helpful for with me to find the right way, and that you were willing to say, hey, I want to roll this back. I appreciate that. Thumbs up from me on that. Q, stars?
I really let's see. I really enjoyed a lot of the character interaction. I liked seeing Jesse and Katerina interact with the other Laura, and Winter's interactions with Billy. It was just really good. That was a lot of fun. I also I really liked being able to show off a little bit of the night in this episode. That was a lot of fun. It was something that I realized I wanted, and I was like, that was really good. And I liked the interaction with the what was the condition again? The guilty condition, the uncertain condition that Katerina put on Drake. I really liked playing with that. That was really good. So,
Steven?
Well, definitely stars for the Laura apparition, which is something that I didn't expect and was pretty disorienting as a player because I wasn't entirely sure what to make of it, or I mean what the threat was, or even if it was a threat. So I felt appropriately off balance during this session. Yeah, and definitely stars to Daryl for just being so incredibly manipulative in every word that he speaks.
Daryl?
Yeah, so my stars are definitely I loved like the ghost fight for sure. That was great. But I loved like the arcs that you all pushed your characters through for this one. I loved like the moral event horizon that Q went, or that Drake went through, and then like to have Jesse like face basically like themselves but not themselves was really great too. And then even like that very last moment where like Katarina is like still like struggling with all of these like strong feelings and everything. Like I thought that was just so great, and it felt so much like a season finale. And then selfishly, I'm also like I really enjoyed like all of the opportunities to just be like actually wicked in this one. I don't usually play the character that wicked, but this was definitely the most evil person I've played so far.
I had to get Billy and Chad back onto the stage there. I had to admit that was a little forced on my part.
I appreciated that.
Sarah?
Every session, I am so pleased by the ghouls' hunger for justice. It works so well, and it's so different, but perfect. And Jesse, like we didn't interact much in the previous sessions, but like this one, like I loved our conversation, like the layers to a lot of these things. Like I feel like I'm often like talking across purposes with people, but we're also like talking about the same thing. Somehow that came across with conversations with you and with Winter. Yeah. And for everyone, because this could have been like an action-y path, and instead we focus on like the difficulty, like the emotional difficulty of living as monstrous people. That was tough, but worthwhile.
It was really interesting to me because everyone felt like there was, I mean, especially Katarina, you kind of set the tone, and we had people echoing off of that theme of the question of violence, and Drake having that, and that discussion that you had last time reverberated through this session, and I thought that was really strong. And all of you came in with such just strong ideas about your characters, and they played through. And by this session, it felt to me like like you had played them for 5 or 6 or 8 sessions, because all of you were so strong and definitive in what you were doing with your character choices. So from a GM's perspective, that was dynamite. So any other thoughts, anybody?
So I found it. Oh, go ahead.
I mean, I thought the superhero setting, it really gave the game a different feel, because we aren't just monsters in a high school. We're monsters who are thinking about what it's like to be monsters. So it made it more. I mean, we were more afraid of being exposed, I think, than in a typical Monsterhearts game, which gave it an interesting, made an interesting difference.
Yeah, and for me, you know, there was a little bit of dissonance there at first with the, you know, Monsterhearts pushes a lot towards you being bad to each other, and there's no helping moves, and there's, you know, it's pushing you towards sexuality, and it's pushing you towards just shutting each other down and all sorts of stuff. But towards the end, I got to feeling, hey, that's what it's supposed to do, and we're not a superhero team. We're the confused children of supervillains and henchmen. It made a lot of sense. It evoked a good feeling. Yeah.
I'm glad that worked. I really wanted to keep the superhero stuff very, very backgrounded. Like I didn't want to foreground. I mean, having the Red Exorcist on there was very much a figure that I just wanted to have in the background, and the janitor as a looming threat. But I didn't want any of that to impinge any of those superhero tropes too much into the play. Daryl, you've played quite a bit of Monsterhearts, right? So thoughts?
Yeah, so I would echo definitely what Steven said about, I think that the interesting thing about this is the supers element added almost this kind of, is it this Siren-esque kind of feel to it. It's like, it's not just that, we're hiding ourselves from normal humanity who doesn't understand us. It's that like this world actively understands what a threat we can be. And like that is why we are hiding ourselves, which I think adds like a really different tenor to it. That external outside threat felt a lot more present in this game versus most normal Monsterhearts, where like the world at large doesn't believe in you. So I thought that was a really cool and interesting dynamic. I also liked the way that we were able to adapt some of the more like overtly supernatural things, like Q's hunger for justice was like a really great twist on that. And I think that's just, again, like super extra star right there for that. But yeah, like it was really interesting. The thing that I noticed is that there was a lot less like sexiness in this game. Like usually Monsterhearts is like roll to turn someone on. Now you're doing it. Now we're cutting to black. Now we're going on. Now you're like hitting on someone else. And so it was really interesting to play a much more like intrigue based version of Monsterhearts for me. So I thought that was really cool too.
Awesome. I'm really glad to hear that. Yeah, I'm never sure when to push to sexy times. I will admit, as a GM. Sarah, any final thoughts? If I give you last word.
Yeah, I like the balance of this was good. Like I've played Masks before, but it was like an X-Men sort of flavor to it. So I don't think I've ever played like an overtly superhero sort of thing. But I'm happy with like the story that we told and all of that, and like I'm agree. Like usually there's more sleeping with each other and all of that, but I totally fine that didn't happen. It's like the story felt like it was enough to carry it, and like we ended up exploring a lot of interesting emotional space, even without turning each other on a bunch. And yeah,
I really, by the way, the vampire aunts and your dad was just right on. Was super material. I loved what you did with that and letting me run with it. So thank you all very much. I had a very good time running this, and I will play with all of you later. Daryl tomorrow, Sarah Sunday for the last of the things from the flood sessions. So I'm going to stop the broadcast.